What is going on, world? It's your boy Soge Kami. I know it's a little late after the new year, but I promised that I would do a top 30 video to kind of follow up the top 30 from last year. And this is it. I'm going to be going over my top 30 most powerful One Piece characters. Starting at the back, there have been a lot of shifts compared to last year. I know that I had a list, and before my list was kind of incorporating thoughts of future potential and where I see characters would end up, and based on how that list turned out, I didn't want to do another list like that. I just felt like that list kind of fell flat. So I'm going to be judging people based on where they are now, and then we can compare that in the future in 2025 and moving forward to where they, if characters move, it's because they got shown in a different way, shown to be more powerful, showed skills that they hadn't shown previously, or learned skills that they didn't have previously. And then that will be how I judge things based on that. I think that this list, although, I have my own personal bias and how I view the story and things like that, I think this list is pretty comprehensive. I don't really see why people would have any issue with my list, but at the same time, it is what it is. First, I'm going to start with the honorable mentions. Emu is going to be in my honorable mentions. He's not the first on the honorable mentions, but I wanted to point it out there. Emu's not going to be on the list just because we really don't know Emu's power. I guess Emu took down Sabo, so that could be a thing, but we don't exactly know exactly how that happened. Emu killed King Cobra. I don't know what that means either, but that could be, a way that people power scale him. I'm not going to power scale Emu just for any of that, just because I personally don't feel like Emu really showed up the way that, some of the other characters showed up, and I want to see more before I can really put a judgment on Emu's power. Like, I wouldn't say, oh, Emu's first. Like, where would you put what Emu did? He attacked Sabo, and I guess you could put him before Sabo, but where in between that, where would you put him? I can't really power scale that. I try not to power scale things based on what Oda says. Like, Ben Beckman is on my list, spoiler alert. Where, I will tell you when I get there, but like the whole Ben Beckman, he's Shanks' moon, Shanks' the sun type thing. Like, I don't know how much that affected him on my list, because like that would basically put him at number 2, and I don't think that he would be like right up there with Shanks. So anyway, so in my honorable mentions, I'm just going to start this off with Sengoku. I know Sengoku is, a contemporary of Garp. I don't know if I used that word right. I know Sengoku is like, right there next to Garp. And when Roger's talking about him and Sengoku had the moment in Marineford, I just think that, as someone who's retired, he's not really looking for the smoke. He's old, white-haired. I just think that Sengoku isn't really somebody who's an active combatant. So his power scaling doesn't really, sure, he has Devil Fruit, really powerful. He has 3 types of Haki, but he's never really done anything to show that he's even going to be, his power is even worth scaling. He's not going to fight anybody. He's not going to do anything. I don't really see Sengoku as a combatant, so why would you scale him as a combatant? He's a different kind of retired. He's like out of the game retired. So that's what my thoughts are with Sengoku. Next is going to be Kobe. Personally, I think Kobe had a really great showing, especially considering where he was at the beginning of the series. He's had one of the greatest glow-ups as somebody who was basically useless in the combat scenario, to somebody who's showing, powerful levels of armament, potentially conquerors Haki. At this point, he had a big blast, a lot stronger than a lot of people, and he's worked hard to get to where he is. So Kobe's definitely on his way up. I can see him making it into the top 30 into the future, especially by the end of the series. He could definitely be in the top 30, top 15 even. He could even be in the top 10. Kobe could end up being in the top 10 unironically, So I think that's a really good sign. I wish, just saying that out loud, I wish Smoker could have even made it into an honorable mention, but we just don't know anything about where he's at right now. But if Smoker makes into the story, I guarantee he'll be in the top 30. So I'm looking forward to hopefully seeing Smoker again sometime soon, but he's not even in the honorable mentions right now. I have the Gorosei that we haven't seen so far, just because we don't know what their powers are. If they are all combatants, we can assume, but like, and we saw all their powers and stuff, so we really can't assume. But like, until we kind of get like an idea of what the powers are, if they're all equal in power, kind of where that is, I'm just not comfortable ranking them. Emu as well, like I mentioned, I just don't feel comfortable ranking Emu at this moment. I feel like they have more future to show us, and Emu is going to be a long kept secret. And I'm kind of tired of leaving Emu in the top 5 just based on where he's going to show us something in the future. Emu has to really show us more than just stabbing Sabo in like in a real not real fight. Like, come on, not shaded out. Come on. And then the real honorable mention is Jinbei. I think Jinbei is really powerful. I think that he kind of, he really proves himself. The 7 as probably the weakest of the 7 warlords outside of Moria. But Jinbei definitely can hold his own. He has a 1 billion berry bounty, and I feel like his bounty will only go up. It's obvious at this point that they didn't want to introduce, that Oda did not want to introduce Jinbei at the end of Whole Cake Island, just because Jinbei would have, tipped the balance in power a little bit too much compared to where the other Straw Hats were. So now that they have some other billion berry bounty men with Sanji and Zoro, Jinbei can come in and he can really, make a name for himself on the team and show exactly what place he's in. He's currently 3rd in ranking, but I do have Sanji at number 30. And Sanji, I think Sanji is a really powerful guy. He has, a lot of potential with his new power-ups and his kicks, and he's fast, and he's gone through his durability weakness. So I think Sanji is definitely moving his way up. He could have potentially been higher, but it is what it is. I have Whitebeard Jr. at 29. I feel like Whitebeard Jr. has a lot of destructive capability. If he truly does have Whitebeard's DNA, then that could really, mean a lot in the future. And Whitebeard Jr.'s importance in the story is kind of like approaching its peak right now. We can kind of see where Oda is going with this character or not. And he's just a powerful guy, and I feel like he's a little underrepresented in the story. Like, people don't really talk about how powerful he is and what he brings to the table, strength-wise. I think that he has a lot, and he has made a name for himself, basically being this powerful guy. We have Rob Lucci, who I have at 28. I think Rob Lucci is a powerful guy, has awakened Devil Fruit now. He has definitely speed hacks. He's just a strong guy. I have him above, these two characters just based on the way that they portray him. And yeah, I think Rob Lucci is in a good spot here at number 28. Katakuri, the Conqueror's Hockey, the Devil Fruit Awakening. He just has it all, really. His only real weakness is the fact that he was introduced as a villain earlier in the Whole Cake Island arc. So we kind of have to see him again to see where he's at, have him go into a extreme diff fight, see exactly how deep it goes with him. He fought for 11 hours, basically didn't get hit until the end. So it wasn't only a couple punches, but like I always say, Katakuri gave up more so than he got defeated, and his reason to fight was defeated. He was defeated for non-combat reasons. So I am interested in seeing Katakuri go into an extreme diff fight and seeing exactly what he has. The observation hockey is too on point. Katakuri has a lot of basically all the things that a top tier would have. So he's definitely still on that top 30 list. Katakuri is that guy. At 26, I have Kuma. Now Kuma is a robot. He has that Buccaneer blood. He has the Hack's Devil Fruit, and he has the willpower to overcome being a robot. And in this scenario, I had to put him at the top of this rank, the top 30, at the number 26, just because I feel like, with Jay Garcia using his power to hold people down, and Kuma being able to overcome that when Sanji couldn't, and fight Jay Garcia still. Could that be because he's not a human? Maybe. But I think that means a lot, and that, Kuma really has that dog in him. And at the currently we're at chapter 1103. We should be getting 1104 sometime this week. So I think that Kuma definitely has a lot going for him right now. He's going to be throwing a punch at Jay Garcia, so we're going to see how that goes. But right now, I definitely have him in this position. The 7 Warlords really showing themselves out. So that was my, 26 to 30. And then for the top 25, which is 21 to 25, at number 25, we have Shiryu, who has made it way down from where he was. I think I had him in like the top 15 before, I had him at like a 12 or 11 or something like that. I had Shiryu really up high. I just had this high portrayal for him as being somebody who's going to be on point with Magellan, and he's going to, do all the stuff. He has the invisibility fruit. So I think that he definitely is going to be somebody who's really powerful. Just the way that fight with Garp went, he didn't really show out as much as he did. Like, he snuck Garp, and then he got beat up, spitting up blood, and he didn't really do anything else after that. So he didn't really have a good showing in 2023. I really wish that, he did some kind of name technique, or he did something a little cooler, was able to fight somebody cooler, maybe in 2024. I can definitely see Shiryu going up from here, but at this point, I think Shiryu's in a good place here now. I still consider him to be the strongest outside of Aokiji and Blackbeard of Blackbeard's crew. But Burgess definitely has, especially with his new Devil Fruit, he definitely, you can say that he could be somebody that Shiryu, Burgess with his new Devil Fruit could definitely be somebody that, can really prove himself and show that he has, that dog in him. So, yeah. So he can definitely make it in the top 30. I just need to see more from his fruit and more, like, of his abilities in battle, maybe in a 1v1. I do think Burgess fights Frankie, so I'd love to see that. Number 24, we have Crocodila. Crocodila, he got a glow up, almost a 2 billion berry bounty, just based off joining the Cross Guild. And I think Crocodile is one of the, you always hear people say that he's a character that was introduced too soon. He had a 180 million berry bounty when he first came out, and then it went up to 2 billion after the time skip. So he definitely is looking good. He's in a powerful position. He has a Hax Devil Fruit. Haven't seen any hockey feats so far, but I think that in the future we can definitely see something like that from Crocodile. So looking forward to that. At this point, I would have him just above Magellan just based on intelligence. He's a lot more smart than other characters. I have Marco at 23. I think Marco, I usually don't, like, a lot of people kind of wank Marco a little hard. I think Marco is good character. I think he's strong. He has a great Devil Fruit power. He just doesn't have any attacks that are potent. His Devil Fruit is mostly defensive, so I'm not really confident in putting him in a battle where in a 1v1 would he win. I feel like in a 1v1 he'd survive, but he wouldn't. He doesn't decimate any characters. He always is defending, blocking, doing those types of things. He's not really attacking, so that's why I have Marco where he is. King, really destructive power, destructive ability, this blocking ability, his flight, his fire, he just has a lot going for him. His Devil Fruit too, and he's just a really strong character. It's hard to deny King's strength. And then at number 21, I have Yamato, and Yamato is extremely powerful. Mythical Zone, Advanced Conquerors hockey, Armament hockey. So definitely Yamato is in a well-deserved spot. And then this brings up to number 20, which I have as Eustace Captain Kid. And, I feel like Kid gets a lot of slander, and that slander is well-deserved. Have him bottoming out of the 3 contemporaries with each other. I think that's Kid, Law, and Zoro. I just feel like Kid has shown the worst, getting one hit by Shanks, even though, Killer blocked part of it. So, it was Killer tried to do the same thing Zoro did, but that shit did not work out. So I don't know if it's saying that Kaido hits hard, or that Shanks hits harder than Kaido, or that just Killer is just not him. But that knocked out the entire crew. So that just wasn't a good moment for him. Outside of that, he helped take down Big Mom, which is a big feat by itself. And he was the one who fired that last attack, that rail gun. But it just didn't knock her out. Like Big Mom was fully competent during that whole thing. So I do have a little reservations about Kid, and I want to see more from him in the future. 19, we have Law. I feel like Law is Hack's Devil Fruit, Armament Hockey. Law has a lot of what's super powerful in One Piece, and especially his Devil Fruit power. With this new addition, that if your Hockey is strong enough, it doesn't seem like Law can use his powers on you. I feel like Zoro is at that phase now, and that's why I have Zoro at 18 ahead of Law, just because I feel like Zoro had that Hockey bloom. He had the Conqueror's Hockey, scarred Kaido, and he's just on his way up. Zoro's just really powerful. He's really great. It's impossible to ignore Zoro. He's probably going to be in the top 10 pretty soon. If not by the end of the year, definitely by the end of next year, he'll probably be in the top 10, because Zoro is that guy. Zoro really is that guy. And not even in my mind, in Oda's mind. Oda really puts a lot of importance on making sure that we know that Zoro is always getting stronger and he's always getting better. Like, for sure. I have my own personal mind, not even just as a Zoro fan, but just saying, like, I can see Zoro being like a top 2 character by the end of the series. So, top 3, top 5, top 2 max. So, yeah. Next, we have Boa Hancock. This is number 17. Boa Hancock has it all 3 types of Hockey, Berry Hack's Devil Fruit, and she's just powerful. She gets wanked really hard, and I feel like Oda really lets us know that Boa Hancock is her, and that's basically by herself. You know, she doesn't really have the crew. Her crew is, you know, they have devil fruits and stuff, but her crew isn't what makes her fearsome. It's her herself, and Oda really makes us know that, you know, Boa Hancock is one not to be trifled with. She did have a showing against Blackbeard where she got snuck, but other than that, like, Kobe showed up, and Kobe didn't want the smoke from her at all. Like, you know, Kobe was not ready for it, and every time you see Boa, like, people don't want to fight her because they know that Boa's gonna, like, show up and show out. So I think that really says a lot about her portrayal. Next, we have Sabo, who's going to be my number 16. And Sabo, he's been getting a lot more wank recently. You know, we saw him a little bit before his Devil Fruit, and then, you know, he had Armament Hockey. Wouldn't be surprised if he has Conqueror's Hockey in the future. The Fire Fruit. And I think that all those things combined, you know, the Flame Emperor, they really show us that Sabo has a lot going for him. He's not Ace, though, and I feel like that is the worst thing about Sabo. They tried to turn him into a second Ace, but we don't want Ace. We want Sabo. So, yeah. Yeah, I think Sabo is in a very good position, and I think he's gonna be another character who I could see moving on up. I wonder what type of fights he'll have, because that'll kind of show us where Sabo will end up in the future. But yeah, going up to this next rank, the top 15, it'll be Ben Beckman, who I have at 15. I just have him just based on portrayal, being able to look at Kizaru and say, hey man, like, you stop fighting, that type of thing. Ben Beckman, the second in command to Shanks, so he has to be the second strongest on the crew, I'd assume. And we haven't seen anything from Ben Beckman fight wise, but just the assumption that Ben Beckman has to be some type of strong to be in the position that he's in, I feel like that is fair to say. We have Garling. Garling gets the old man tax. He's older than he was before, but he's been kind of, through the flashback, it's been kind of hinted that he was part of this fight with on God's Valley with Rox and Roger and Garp. So he had some stake in there that puts him with some of the strongest of the older characters in the series. So I think I think Garling is, you know, in a well-deserved position where he's in right now, where he's a little older, so he gets moved down, but he was at one point one of the strongest fighters in the series. And he also scarred Whitebeard, and so Whitebeard kind of gave him that gas there too. So for those reasons, I put Garling here. At number 13, I have Green Bull. Green Bull has somebody who fought 9 samurai, took down 2 Yonko Commander 1s, and he took out Weevil. So Green Bull definitely has a lot of smoke under his belt. I definitely have him under Fujitora, who's number 12, and that's only because I feel like in that the attack on Mary Joa, I feel like Fujitora kind of beat Green Bull when it comes to the fact that Fujitora was helping slaves escape, and Green Bull was fighting Fujitora. Fujitora was able to hold him off, so Green Bull wasn't able to overcome that. So I think that that leaves Fujitora as, at least edging out Green Bolt in a little bit in some ways. And then at number 11, we have the Dark King Rayleigh. This one was hard for me, but I had to end up putting him here just based on he has all three types of hockey compared to the other people who we don't have a confirmation on, their hockey and stuff. I wouldn't be surprised if Garling had Conqueror's hockey, and if he did, I would definitely move him just up to number 11. I think those Garland could move that high depending on what more confirmation we get about him and his abilities and techniques. But Rayleigh himself, I feel like Rayleigh, he has, like I said, he has all three types of hockey. He taught Luffy everything he knows. He was the second in command to Roger, and right now he just has that old man tax. If it was in his prime, that Rayleigh would be going crazy. Rayleigh would definitely be going crazy. But going to the top 10 now, we have Garp. Garp had an amazing showing in Hachinosu. He was fighting with Aokiji toe-to-toe, although I do think Aokiji was holding back on him. I think Garp, using all three types of hockey. I think Garp just has that old man tax right now where he's just weaker than he was before. But Garp was Roger's contemporary. He was somebody who was on Roger's level. So I think Garp is in those high books for sure, and he's well placed at number 10. Number 9, Kizaru just hacks Devil Fruit in general. I feel like Kizaru is the type of character who we never really see go full out. And even in Egghead, he's doing his thing right now, and he was trying to dodge Luffy and attack. But I'd love to see Kizaru fight somebody head on so we can kind of see where they're at. I really was in the hopes that Kizaru and Sanji could fight. I feel like that would be just like such a sick fight to see. So that'd be interesting. I want to see where Kizaru goes from here. But Kizaru at number 9, I feel like Kizaru is well placed here. Number 8, we have Jay Garcia. He's just been portrayed as somebody who's above Kizaru in the Egghead arc, and we're seeing his powers. He's able to hold people down, blow people's heads up, hold Sanji down, which is a big deal, I think, because Sanji, is another top 30 character. I think Garcia He just has Devil Fruit ability or some type of ability that we don't know yet, and he's massive in size, so it would be interesting to see where he ends up, because he's just so powerful as a character so far with how they're portraying him. But there is still more to see. Garcia could easily move down if he's made of paper. He also has a healing ability, which is like a great defensive ability. It didn't seem like he was too stunned from any attack so far. So, like I said, it was 1103. He's about to get punched in the face. So I would love to see where that goes after 1104. Maybe if let's assume Kuma knocks him out, maybe I could see either Kuma going way up or Garcia going way down. But either way, I think Garcia doesn't get knocked out from that, and then we get to see like a stronger showing from Garcia, which would eventually lead us to believe Luffy would be the one to take down Jay. Next, at number 7, we have Aokiji. I definitely feel like Aokiji is well placed here. In that Garp fight, he wasn't really taking too much damage from Garp. I feel like I don't really feel Garp was going easy on him. I feel more so he was going easy on Garp, and I think that this is a good place for him. I had him in a similar position last year. He's just former admiral. He has crazy attacks, his Devil Fruit hacks, and I wouldn't be surprised if he had Conqueror's Haki. He has, he trained the same way Kobe trained. He's trained with Garp. He just has a lot of accolades going for him that make him a powerful character. I think being a former admiral is his best one. And then, fighting Akainu, the current fleet admiral, for that position, I think that means a lot. Even though he did get weakened, with his Devil Fruit, he was able to come up with a way to, not be handicapped. And I think that's a big deal for him. Number 6 is our main man, Luffy. I think Luffy has shown a lot, defeating Kaido, becoming a Yonko. He's really up there with the upper echelon of characters now, and he's really powerful. Gear 5 was able to one-tap Kizaru. I think that was a big thing too. So Luffy's well placed here. He has really powerful attacks. His only issue is more of a lore-based issue where Oda has to give him a handicap, so he makes Luffy grow weak when he uses Gear 5 too much. But inside Gear 5, he's so powerful that a lot of characters can't really deal with that. And so I'm curious as to what characters will actually be stronger for Luffy in the coming future. Now, going to our top 5, I have to place Dragon at number 5. I can't. This is one of them that's mostly portrayal. But if Dragon truly is the most dangerous man, he has an unknown power with the wind. He's the person who trains Sabo in some aspects. You know, you see Sabo training with Kuma as well, but this the person Kuma respects is the person Sabo respects. So I feel like Dragon has to have something up his sleeve. He's the father of Luffy and the son of Garp, so he also has to, like, I'm sure that these skills and strength is hereditary, or at least a little bit. So I feel like Garp, or Dragon, sorry, has to have some type of power, and this power has to be insane. And the more that we wait, the longer we wait, I feel like the better it is as it's going to be shown for Dragon. But I can't put him any, like, realistically, he should be higher than this, but I can't put him any higher because we haven't seen anything yet. I still have reservations about Dragon. I feel like it is possible for Dragon to, you know, not be a fighter at all. He could just be like a diplomat, political figure, a stand-in of sort, but I doubt it. I feel like Dragon, you know, the anime trope, the father of the main character has to be some type of powerful, OP, broken guy. Number 4, we have Blackbeard. The Darkness Devil Fruit is broken, controlling gravity, taking away Devil Fruit powers. You know, Blackbeard himself, he takes damage, but he doesn't really take damage. Like, Blackbeard has some cool amount of durability. He defeated Law, and that's the 2 Devil Fruits, the way that he snatched up Boa, and he was certain that he could take her out easily. Boa couldn't do anything about it. I think that Blackbeard, you know, it's just the 2 Devil Fruits really, and then the confirmation of Armament Haki at least. I wouldn't be surprised if Blackbeard also, if not now or in the future, gets Conqueror's Haki too. And just that Quake Fruit, the most destructive ability, Blackbeard really has a lot going for him. So it would be, and he's, you know, he's a Yonko, and he has Aokiji on his crew. I feel like a crew member, like if Aokiji was more powerful than him, he would have defeated Blackbeard. So if Aokiji is as strong as he is, Blackbeard has to be above him it's just the way that my head maths it out. So I feel like Blackbeard is in the position that he needs to be in, and number 4 is a good spot for him. At number 3, we have Dracule Mihawk. I feel like Mihawk, you know, he gets a lot of slander for, you know, saying to saying to Vista, you know, we should delay our fight for another time. And although I do think that is funny and that's true, I feel like in Marineford he was just not really motivated at all in that arc. So I do think that Mihawk has a lot going for him. He's had a higher bounty than his captain, than his Yonko captain, at 3.5 billion. I think that Mihawk, you know, he was the Marine Slayer, and he's just basically in lazy mode. But I feel like if we can get Mihawk serious, he can really prove us what the title of the world's strongest swordsman really means. I feel like being the only character alive with a black blade is crazy, because, you know, we've known about black blades for so long. So, and Mihawk always had a black blade. So I feel like Mihawk just knows something. He's on a different level. Even Zoro says things like, oh, Mihawk wouldn't do that, you know, why would he be under Buggy? So Zoro knows that Mihawk is still that guy. Zoro, as a higher Zoro, like, the truth of the matter is, you always see people talk about Zoro, Mihawk fans are just Zoro fans in disguise, but the truth of the matter is, the more that Zoro gets stronger, and the more he still, like, looks up to Mihawk as, like, a challenge that he needs to overcome, the more that Mihawk gets stronger too, because Zoro knows that he's not on that level. So that's just the truth. Mihawk is a feat leech. That's just the way it is. That's the way Oda has written him. It's not our fault. It's not Mihawk's fans' fault. You know, Mihawk just looks cool with a big sword. But, you know, the truth of the matter is, Oda has created him to be a character who's in the running with Shanks, and that's just the way he is. At number 2, I have Akainu. I just feel like Akainu was the person who defeated Whitebeard. He killed Ace. He, you know, had that hot flame. He defeated Aokiji. He's just that guy. He has a Hack's Devil Fruit. He'd be able to find the One Piece in a year. All these things make Akainu just on another level of tough and strong, I feel like, and there aren't a lot of characters who can deal with his magma. He's probably a character with Conqueror's Haki, and the current Fleet Admiral makes him really powerful. So Yeah, I think Akainu is well placed at number 2, and obviously our rat bastard friend Shanks is at number 1. Shanks is easily the strongest. He one-tapped Kid. He made Green Bull run away. He stopped the war at Marineford. Shanks is that guy. He always has good feats. The only person who was able to even injure Shanks is the Lord of the Coast. So Shanks is truly, truly, truly a character that is crazy. You know, we saw his Conqueror's Hockey, we saw his Observation Hockey that seemed to even be better and more powerful than Katakuri's Observation Hockey, and he's the Observation Killer. So I'm really confident in putting my list out. I think my list is pretty comprehensive. There's nobody on this list that I went through it a couple times, and I just went based on feeling for a lot of things. Like, I do see a lot of characters moving. I can see Crocodile going up. I can see Sanji going up. I can see Yamato, she returns to the story, going up. Definitely, I feel like Jinbei could make the list if Jinbei, you know, shows us more stuff. Jinbei unlocked Conqueror's Hockey, stuff like that. And yeah, I feel like for the most part, my list is pretty good. A lot of characters on this list are Devil Fruit users. If you notice that Devil Fruit users mixed with hockey, but the ones who are just hockey only users like Zoro, Shanks, Mihawk, Rayleigh, these characters are definitely stand out. Garp, these characters stand out just for being just hockey straight users, but for the most part, we can assume that Devil Fruit users definitely give them an edge. So let me know what you think about my list. You can write your list down in the bottom too, and you know, give me some arguments. Keep it civil, obviously, but make sure to like and comment on the video and let me know exactly what you think could be better about this video and my list. And we'll be back here same time, same year. You know, same time next year. I mean, sorry. Anyway, thank you for watching and take care.